Some people confuse silence for weakness. They were about to learn just how wrong that assumption was. The sharp crack of Destiny Thompson's karate trophy snapping beneath Brooke Hamilton's $1,200 designer heel echoed through Westfield Prep AS chemistry lab like a gunshot. 23 privileged students froze mid-breath, eyes flicking between the scholarship girl and the queen bee. Destiny knelt, gathering the shattered pieces with steady hands. The golden figure glittered on the floor like broken teeth. "Oops," Brooke purred, tilting her head, her voice sugared with venom. "So clumsy of me." Destiny's fingers closed tight around the broken metal, the jagged edge nicking her palm. Blood welled, but she didn't flinch. That trophy wasn't just a trinket. It was the last relic of a life Brooke prayed no one would discover. A life that could unravel everything with one whisper. "You know what, Destiny?" Brooke's hand shot out with practiced cruelty. Smack, her palm connecting to Destiny's cheek. The sound ricocheted off the walls louder than any Bunsen burner. Somebody in the back gasped. Another whispered, "World star." Phones shot up like periscopes. Destiny didn't move. Her breathing was calm, deliberate, as if she'd been preparing for this very moment. Because what none of them knew, what would make Brooke's perfect powdered face turn chalk white in exactly 4 hours, was that Destiny had always been good at breaking things, just not the way Brooke imagined. The silence spread like spilled acid, corroding the air. Thumbs typed furiously, recording the humiliation in 4K. Mrs. Peterson, their chemistry teacher, had of course abandoned the class for her daily caffeine pilgrimage, leaving the battlefield wide open. Destiny rose slowly, shards of her trophy glinting in her fist. A single bead of blood trailed down her hand. She didn't wipe it away. "Miss Thompson," a voice called from the doorway. Vice Principal Morrison, hawk-eyed, stiff as a broomstick, loyal only to tuition checks, surveyed the scene. His timing was surgical, always landing where it cut deepest. "Perhaps you could clean up this mess before it stains the floor." 23 pairs of eyes stayed locked on Destiny. She swallowed her pride, nodded once. "Of course, sir." Brooke's smirk bloomed, wide and wicked. She'd orchestrated this moment perfectly. She always did. Donations bought her more than influence. They bought silence, protection, even applause. But Destiny? Destiny was buying time, and time was never on Brooke's side. Long. Others? Brooke's laugh rang out, crystal clear, perfectly rehearsed, like the soundtrack to every petty dictatorship. Life isn't fair, Jake. Some of us are here because we belong. Others... Her gaze slid deliberately to Destiny's second-hand blazer, pausing on the neatly stitched tear in her sleeve. "Others are here on charity." Destiny's shoulders flinched, just for a breath, barely there. But then something shifted. Her feet planted, weight evenly balanced, her body aligning in a stance so instinctive it betrayed training most of them couldn't even name. Nobody noticed. Nobody except Destiny. "I mean, look at her," Brooke pressed, her voice dripping silk and acid, standing there like she's actually going to do something about it. The cut on Destiny's palm had dried, but her fist stayed clenched tight around the broken trophy. The metal was warm now, pulsing against her skin, as if reminding her of who she used to be. Back when marble counters and a 3-car garage framed her life. Back when trophies weren't relics but wallpaper. "You know what I think?" Brooke glided closer, her perfume, expensive, French, designed to intimidate, mixing with the sting of ethanol and bleach in the lab. "I think some people have gotten too comfortable, forgotten their place." A ripple of whispers spread through the students. Phones rose higher. Someone hissed about going live on Instagram. Destiny's breathing had shifted, though no one clocked it. Gone was the frantic, shallow inhale of humiliation. In its place, slow, precise control. 4 counts in, 4 counts out. The technique of champions. The technique her mother, Sarah Thompson, once drilled into her before life rebranded her as a janitor with a mop instead of a coach with medals. Brooke circled now, a predator circling wounded prey. Her tone was soft, mocking, lethal. I wonder, what would happen if everyone knew the real story of the Thompson family? How far the mighty have fallen? Brooke, enough! Jake stepped forward again, fists balled. Her attention snapped to him like a spotlight. Oh, Jake. Sweet, naive Jake. You don't even know who you're defending, do you? You don't know what she's hiding. The words landed on Destiny like body blows, because Brooke wasn't bluffing. She'd been there. She'd seen it all. The foreclosure, the auction signs, the night Destiny's father vanished into scandal rather than face his ruin. Brooke had been her best friend right until the day loyalty became social suicide. People like her, Brooke whispered, but her stage whisper slid into every corner of the room, amplified by cruelty. They think they can just reinvent themselves, show up at Westfield, act like the past doesn't exist, but the truth doesn't go away, does it? Destiny's free hand brushed against her side. Her fingers tapped lightly where muscle memory lived, where power slept, waiting to wake. And Brooke had no idea just how awake Destiny was about to be. Destiny's core tightened automatically, the way it had 10,000 times before in dim gyms and echoing arenas. Her mother's voice rose in memory. Balance comes from the center, baby. Everything else is just movement. But the past always catches up, Brooke murmured, stopping inches from Destiny, close enough for her words to sting like perfume and poison. Her lips curved into a dagger of a smile. Doesn't it, champion? The word detonated. Gasps rippled through the crowd. A few younger students blinked, confused, but the older ones, those who remembered the sports pages 5 years back, began to connect the dots. Destiny's mask faltered. For an instant, raw pain flickered across her face. It was the same haunted look she'd worn the day she folded her karate gi for the last time, the day her mother exchanged her coach's whistle for a janitor's key ring. Nothing to say? Brooke pressed, savoring the silence. No denial? No righteous anger? The silence thickened, heavy with the weight of unspoken history. Phones inched closer. A notification chimed. Destiny's humiliation was already viral. Finally, Destiny spoke. Her voice was steady, low, cutting through the noise like the edge of a blade. What do you want, Brooke? What do I want? Brooke's smile widened, razor-sharp, glittering with malice masquerading as mischief. I want honesty. I want everyone to know who they're really sitting next to. I want... She leaned in, eyes sparkling. To give you a chance, to prove you still have some fight left, unless, of course, you're too diminished. The word diminished lingered like smoke, curling around Destiny, daring her. Every gaze pinned her. Every camera lens magnified her heartbeat. Her future at Westfield was collapsing into this moment. Destiny looked down at her bleeding palm, at the jagged fragments of the trophy that once defined her. Then she lifted her eyes, locking onto Brooke, the ex-best friend who knew every scar to press, every wound to rip open. What exactly are you asking me to do? Simple, Brooke said, her grin flashing teeth now. Just a friendly sparring match, after school. Unless, of course, you're afraid to show everyone what the great Destiny Thompson has become. The crowd surged forward, pressing in, hungry for spectacle. Phones angled higher, capturing every frame. Down in the lower level, a janitor paused mid-mop, a mother's instinct shivering through her bones, though she couldn't yet name the storm brewing above. The chemistry lab had become an arena. Word spread like fire through the halls. Destiny Thompson was being called out. A sparring match? Jake's voice cracked in disbelief. Brooke, what the hell is wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with me. Brooke's tone was casual, almost bored, but her eyes never left Destiny. "I'm just offering our scholarship friend a chance to show us what she's really made of. Since she used to be so accomplished." She twisted the word, made it sound like rot, like an infection. Destiny's fist finally unclenched. The broken trophy pieces clinked softly to the floor, but her stance remained unshakable. Hips low, knees bent, weight coiled like a spring. To untrained eyes, casual. To anyone who knew better, a storm waiting to break. "I remember," Brooke said louder now, her voice carrying over the packed room. "I remember when Destiny Thompson was a name that mattered." The crowd held its breath. The challenge was set, and Destiny's silence was no longer weakness. It was the countdown. "Sports Illustrated did a feature on her when she was 14, someone whispered, awe creeping into their voice. "The karate prodigy, 3-time national champion. They called her unstoppable." The room shifted. Phones angled higher, zooming in. Recognition flickered across the faces of students who suddenly realized this wasn't just gossip. This was legend turned scandal. Unstoppable? Brooke's laugh sliced through the air, sharp enough to cut glass. "More like fell hard. Isn't that right, Destiny?" Destiny's breathing stayed measured, but her body betrayed her. Shoulders back, chin lifted. For a heartbeat, she looked less like a scholarship charity case and more like the girl who once bowed beneath spotlights and deafening applause. "You don't know anything about what happened to my family," Destiny said, her voice quiet but steady. "Don't I?" Brooke smirked, pulling out her phone. Her fingers danced across the screen like a conductor orchestrating humiliation. She turned it toward the crowd. Headlines, screenshots, public records, bankruptcy filing, foreclosure, business partner flees country with stolen funds. The crowd murmured. Someone sucked in a sharp breath. Brooke pocketed the phone, her cruelty surgical, precise, cutting where it hurt most. The intimacy of betrayal made the blade sharper. "Some people think they can just show up here and pretend the past doesn't exist," Brooke continued. "Pretend Westfield's generosity doesn't need proving." "And you think a fight proves something?" Destiny asked. Her voice didn't waver, but her hands shifted subtly to her sides, her body coiling into readiness invisible to the untrained. "I think action proves everything." Brooke leaned close, her words a whisper designed to wound, though the phones caught every syllable. "I think it is time everyone knew who you really are now. What your family has become, where your mother mops floors while you sit in classes you can't afford." The words landed like strikes to the ribs. Brooke knew every scar, every shame. She'd been there, until loyalty became a liability. "Unless you're too afraid," she added louder, her tone silk over steel. "Too diminished." The crowd pressed tighter, the lab suffocating with heat and hunger for spectacle. A live stream had already started. Viewer numbers ticked upward in real time. Destiny shut her eyes. 1, 2, 3 beats. When she opened them, something inside her had shifted. The mask of invisibility she had worn for 3 years cracked. For the first time, the champion looked back at them. "What are your terms?" The electricity that shot through the room was immediate. Gasps, phones lifting higher. The live stream doubled in viewers. Brooke's smile widened, triumphant, predatory. "Simple. After school. Gymnasium. No rules. No referees. Just you and me." She let the silence build, then delivered the kill shot. "When you lose, and we both know you will, you stand in front of the entire school and confess. The bankruptcy, the lies, the charity case act. Then you leave Westfield. Forever." The stakes hit like a slap. Gasps, whistles, chaos. Emojis exploded across the live chat feed. Destiny tilted her head, calm, her voice barely above a whisper, but somehow carrying across the charged silence. "And when you lose?" The hush was electric. Brooke laughed, crystalline and brittle. If I lose, which won't happen, I'll donate $5,000 to the scholarship fund and issue a public apology. She leaned forward, eyes gleaming. But don't worry, that's not going to be necessary. Recorded. Everything's already being recorded. Brooke gestured to the forest of phones aimed at them. No backing out, no excuses. By tonight, the whole school will know. Destiny scanned the lab, the eager faces, the bloodthirsty anticipation, the mob mentality dressed up as school spirit. 3 years invisible, and now her classmates looked at her like spectators at a gladiator pit. Her gaze found Jake, his brow furrowed with fear. Found Mrs. Peterson, frozen in the doorway, coffee cup in hand, witnessing the aftermath but doing nothing to stop it. Found the cold black eye of a phone lens, streaming her humiliation to strangers she'd never meet. "Destiny, don't," Jake whispered urgently. "This is insane. She's trying to... I accept." Her words sliced the room clean open. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the ping of notifications as the clip went viral in real time. For the first time, Brooke's smile faltered. Just for an instant. She'd expected begging, tears, denial. Not this calm, surgical acceptance. Not the voice of someone who had nothing left to lose. 3:30, Brooke said, recovering with venom. "Gymnasium? Don't be late." "I won't be." The bell rang, scattering the crowd into buzzing clusters of rumor and adrenaline. Destiny stayed rooted, her body still, her breath steady. 3.5 hours. Time enough for sides to form. Time enough for the school to explode with gossip. Time enough for her mother to find out, likely from the very students whose trash she emptied every night. Time enough to remember who she used to be. By lunch, Westfield Prep had transformed. The cafeteria buzzed like an arena before a title fight. Word of the confrontation moved faster than gossip, faster than scandal, faster than wildfire. Phones hovered everywhere, capturing commentary, predictions, shaky mock interviews from students who suddenly fancied themselves ESPN analysts. "This is actually happening," breathed Madison Chen, wide-eyed, recording herself for TikTok. "Like, for real happening." At the center table, Brooke held court like a reigning monarch. Her untouched lunch sat beside her while she laid out the rules again, her voice carrying with perfect clarity. "Let me be crystal clear. When Destiny loses, and she will lose, she stands at tomorrow's assembly and tells the truth. Bankruptcy, foreclosure, her family's fall from grace, 3 years of lies." "What if she doesn't show?" someone yelled from the back. Brooke's smile was a blade. "Then everyone sees the video of her backing down. Either way, the truth comes out." She flashed her phone. Chemistry class footage already at 30,000 views. Her circle gasped, eating it up like gospel. Across the room, Destiny sat alone at a corner table, quietly peeling the crusts from a peanut butter sandwich she'd packed from home. The irony wasn't lost on her. While Brooke basked in the spotlight, Destiny remained exactly where she'd worked so hard to stay, invisible. Jake slid into the seat across from her, his voice urgent. "Destiny, you can't do this. It's suicide, social suicide." As opposed to what? Destiny's tone was casual, almost amused. "Letting her destroy me piece by piece? She can't actually make you leave school. Your scholarship..." "My scholarship depends on image," Destiny interrupted, chewing deliberately. "The inspiring story of the underprivileged girl who overcame adversity. Hard to keep that narrative alive when everyone knows the truth about how far we've fallen." The truth. That was Brooke's sharpest weapon. Not lies, not rumors. Truth, wielded with surgical precision, designed to humiliate, to strip flesh from bone. But Destiny Thompson had once turned truth into medals, and Brooke had no idea what it looked like when she stopped running from it. The announcement hit like a setup straight out of a mob movie. An emergency faculty meeting? Please. Everyone knew Brooke's daddy had greased the wheels. By 3:15, the gym wasn't a gym anymore. It was Vegas with lockers, bleachers packed, lights dimmed, phones raised like a sky of glowing judgment. Someone had even dragged in a smoke machine. Viral fame had officially clocked in. Tyler Morrison, self-proclaimed fight promoter and proud owner of exactly zero charisma, strutted around with his phone like a budget Joe Rogan. "Ladies and gentlemen, history is about to be made." His voice cracked halfway through, "History." But the 70,000 live viewers didn't care. Westfield fight was trending above Dr. Taylor Swift. That's how bad people wanted blood. Destiny walked in at 3:29 on the dot, still in her wrinkled school uniform and shoes that had seen more cafeteria floors than battlegrounds. No designer gear, no show. Just her ponytail pulled tight, her steps steady. The crowd leaned forward, half expecting her to trip, half hoping she'd burst into flames. She didn't. She just kept walking, calm as a queen at her own coronation. 30 seconds later, Brooke made her entrance like a UFC Barbie doll. Designer athleisure so new you could still smell the boutique price tag. Hair curled like she'd hired a stylist in the locker room. She shadowboxed with air so expensive it probably charged rent. The bleachers roared approval. Brooke was serving intimidation with a side of Instagram reels. Destiny didn't flinch. She closed her eyes and drew in a breath. 4 counts in. Hold. 4 counts out. Somewhere deep inside, the invisible girl dissolved, leaving behind the fighter who once had the world clapping on its feet. Then she saw her, 3rd row, leaning against the wall like she belonged nowhere and everywhere at once. Mrs. Rodriguez, the janitor. No cheering, no phone out, just that small nod. A working woman's benediction. "We see you. Don't you dare forget who you are." And just like that, the past bled through. Trophies gleaming on shelves that had been sold off in an auction. Her father's trembling apology in a kitchen bigger than their entire apartment now. The note that said goodbye without saying the word. Her mother's tired hands bagging up their life with the quiet defiance of a woman too proud to break. Brooke stretched and flashed her killer smile. The crowd oohed, phones tilted for better angles. Destiny straightened her spine. The fight wasn't about Brooke anymore. It never had been. It was about proving her family name wouldn't die under bleach fumes and broken promises. It was about reminding the world that Destiny Thompson didn't just disappear. She was about to reappear. Sarah Thompson's words weren't just echo, they were prophecy. Her mother scrubbed office buildings at night, then mopped the very halls her daughter walked by day. In 97 minutes, she'd be pushing her cart through this same gym, erasing sweat and blood with bleach. The irony stung. Tonight, Sarah would mop the floor where her daughter had fought to keep from being erased herself. "You ready for this, champion?" Brooke's voice sliced through the memory. That word used to glitter like gold around Destiny's neck. Now it dripped with mockery, as if Brooke was holding her old medals over her head like a noose. Destiny inhaled, exhaled. And when she lifted her chin, the slouch was gone. The air shifted. Phones lowered an inch without their owners realizing. Mrs. Rodriguez's gaze sharpened in the 3rd row. Destiny's voice rang out, calm but cutting. "This isn't about winning or losing a fight." A ripple went through the crowd. Brooke sneered. "Getting cold feet already?" "No," Destiny said. "This is about truth." And just like that, she owned the room. Eyes that hadn't noticed her in 3 years suddenly locked on her like she was center stage again. "You want to know who I really am? You want to know what the Thompson family has become? Fine, let me show you." Her mother's words whispered inside her. "Champions aren't made by what they win, baby. They're made by what they survive." Destiny's voice rose, gaining strength. "You think losing everything made me weak? You think it broke me? You think it made me less than I was?" Her shoulders rolled back. The scholarship student vanished. In her place stood the prodigy, the fighter who had once commanded arenas. "Maybe you're right. Maybe I am different than I was 5 years ago." Her lips curled into something dangerous, beautiful. Maybe I'm something better. Silence. Even the live stream chat froze. Champions aren't made by what they win, Destiny declared, her voice ablade. They're made by what they survive. And for the first time in the entire spectacle, Brooke faltered. She'd seen this posture before, the one that used to haunt dojo mats and national stages. It had cost countless opponents their pride. Brooke struck first, a flawless right hook, perfect mechanics. Rich kid martial arts at its finest. Destiny wasn't there. She slipped aside like water around stone, her uniform skirt swishing as Brooke's momentum carried her forward. Gasps erupted. Phones snapped upward. "Lucky dodge!" Brooke snarled. But Destiny wasn't lucky. She was surgical. Every jab, every kick Brooke threw was a telegraph screaming for anyone who knew how to read it. Destiny wasn't defending, she was studying, dissecting. The crowd didn't see defense, they saw control. Brooke lunged again, jab, cross, spinning heel kick, the kind of combo that won trophies in safe, padded gyms. Destiny smothered the first, brushed aside the second, then stepped in close enough to taste Brooke's perfume layered over sweat and fear. "Your form is excellent," Destiny whispered, only for Brooke. "Very textbook. Your instructors must be proud." Then she slipped away again, backstepping into perfect distance, and the crowd felt it. Destiny wasn't surviving this fight. She was rewriting it. Brooke was unraveling. Every strike missed, every kick found only air. Destiny hadn't thrown a single punch, yet Brooke looked like she was fighting shadows. The crowd was restless now, murmurs, side eyes, even laughter. This wasn't the bloodbath they'd come for. This was a masterclass. "Stop playing around!" Brooke snapped, sweat slick on her forehead. Her voice cracked, desperate. Destiny didn't answer. She flowed around Brooke's fury with the calm inevitability of water wearing down stone. Each miss left Brooke more off balance, more exposed. She wasn't just losing ground, she was losing her audience. On the live stream, comments exploded. "Is she even fighting back? Brooke looks like a toddler throwing tantrums. This girl Destiny is scary calm." Mrs. Rodriguez leaned forward in the third row, her eyes narrowing. She recognized this. The same unshakable composure she had once seen in televised highlight reels when Sarah Thompson's daughter had been untouchable. "You can't just run forever," Brooke panted. "I'm not running," Destiny replied. Her tone was clinical, almost bored. "I'm evaluating." The word hit harder than any punch. She wasn't even dignifying Brooke as an opponent. She was treating her like a lab project. Rage twisted Brooke's features. She lunged with a wild haymaker, sloppy and desperate. Destiny caught her wrist mid-swing, her grip iron wrapped in velvet. For a beat, the entire gym froze. The only sound was Brooke's ragged breathing. "I could have ended this 12 different ways already," Destiny murmured. Her voice carried, soft but surgical. "Do you know why I haven't?" Panic flickered across Brooke's face as she stumbled back, yanking her arm free. "Because I wanted you to understand something first." Destiny's stance shifted. Her weight sank, her hands relaxed into perfect balance. Years of training clicked into place. "You've been fighting a girl who doesn't exist anymore," Destiny continued, her smile edged with sadness. "She died the night her father walked out. What's standing in front of you now grew from her ashes." Brooke shrieked, unleashing every expensive lesson her parents had bought her. Jab, cross, spinning kick. Destiny dissolved around it all, a blur of precision. She wasn't blocking, wasn't parrying. She simply wasn't there. "This isn't a fight," someone whispered. "It's a massacre." Tyler's voice cracked over the live stream. "Jesus Christ, she's not even trying, she's just dancing." No, not dancing, demonstrating, exposing, dominating. Brooke's final spinning heel kick carved empty air. She spun a full circle, staggering, disoriented, and when she refocused, Destiny was exactly where she'd been all along. Center court, steady, untouchable, not even winded. "Are you done?" Destiny asked, her tone gentle, almost maternal. It wasn't mockery, it was pity, and pity was worse. The silence that followed was unbearable. The crowd leaned forward. The live stream ticked past 57,000 viewers, comments a blur of fire emojis and disbelief. Brooke's lips trembled. What are you?" Destiny's gaze softened. "I'm what you made me. Someone who learned that losing everything doesn't make you weak. It makes you dangerous. Because when you've got nothing left to lose," she stepped forward, her shadow falling across Brooke, "you finally get to be exactly who you are." The gymnasium held its breath. Phones forgot to record. And in that instant, everyone understood. They weren't watching Destiny Thompson fight. They were watching her choose not to destroy. Destiny looked like she was waiting for a bus, calm, unshaken, yet she'd just delivered the martial arts equivalent of a master class. "This isn't over," Brooke gasped, sweat streaking her face. "I didn't come here to play games." "Neither did I." "Then fight me," Destiny replied, tilting her head with the clinical focus of a scientist studying a specimen. "Why?" Brooke's desperation hung in the air like a challenge. Why fight someone who posed no real threat? Destiny didn't answer. Her calm was the answer. Brooke lunged wildly, a sloppy emotional grab aimed at Destiny's throat. Destiny caught her wrist with surgical precision. No force, no drama, just pure artistry. She guided Brooke to her knees with the effortless grace of a dance partner leading through a complex step. The crowd gasped. "That's the Crane's wing lock! I've seen it in competitions!" Students who'd ignored Destiny for 3 years finally saw her clearly. The live stream exploded. Comments flew as viewers recognized professional-level technique. "I was a 3-time national junior karate champion," Destiny said softly. "I didn't lose that when my family lost everything. I chose to put it away." Brooke struggled, futile. "Let me go," she hissed. "In a moment," Destiny replied, gentle, almost soothing. "First, understand this. Trophies can break, houses can be foreclosed, families can lose everything. But character can only be revealed." With a fluid motion honed by years of training, Destiny released Brooke. Brooke collapsed forward, gasping. The gym erupted. Phones captured every angle of her defeat and Destiny's quiet dignity. Destiny didn't look at the crowd. She looked at Brooke, compassion softening her expression. "It's over," she said quietly. "It ended the moment you made this about who we used to be instead of who we are now." The gym buzzed. Students processed what they'd seen. Live stream viewers soared past 150,000. Brooke knelt, her designer athletic wear damp with sweat and humiliation. She looked genuinely small for the first time. "The terms," Tyler Morrison called out. "Public confession." Brooke rose unsteadily, voice cracking. "I know what I owe. Destiny Thompson, I owe you an apology. More than that, I betrayed you when you needed me most. I chose reputation over loyalty, cruelty over kindness." The words hit like physical blows. Years of casual malice laid bare. Brooke's voice broke. "I tried to destroy what you built because seeing you survive reminded me of everything shallow in myself. I can't undo the past. But I can start here. Destiny Thompson is twice the person I am. She always was." The gym fell silent. Destiny stepped forward. "Thank you," she said simply. "That took courage." "Not as much courage as you've shown every day for 3 years," Brooke whispered, her smile watery but genuine. "I've been watching you. Excel in every class, help struggling students, work twice as hard as everyone else. I've been pretending to be you, But you've always been the real champion.